The movie begins in New Delhi, where VK Naidu, a senior analyst, arrives at his office after dinner. He then discusses with one of his snipers the plan to silence the jihad salesman, Farid Haqqani. They are waiting for Haqqani, whose speeches have enticed many innocent young men to quit their countries and join the jihad. Meanwhile, a car arrives, confirming Naidu's knowledge that Haqqani is in the driver's seat. When Naidu has a clear shot at the objective, he orders the sniper to fire. As Haqqani begins to roll up his bulletproof glass, the sniper loads but doesn't shoot immediately, leading Naidu to dread. The shooter fires as soon as Haqqani's windows close, but the bullet hits Naidu instead. Unfortunately, he has no idea that the sniper is a traitor and that the vision he sees on his computer is really a setup. The sniper reloads his weapon and shoots Naidu in the head again. Following the incident, Defense Minister Shurna Patel interrogates Colonel Luther about how they had a gun on Haqqani in Syria, but Naidu is the one shot. The colonel informs them that their sharpshooter, Kabir, has gone rogue and joined their adversary. The video stream they saw in Syria 3 days earlier was remotely controlled by a fake gun and camera. Patel then orders the colonel to assassinate Kabir before he makes another move. Later, Khalid visits the colonel's underground headquarters in Malta, where they discuss Kabir's whereabouts. The colonel orders Saini to find Kabir, but Khalid objects, arguing that no one knows him better than him. The colonel is skeptical of Khalid since he knows how deeply Khalid loves Kabir. Still, Khalid persuades the colonel that he loves his country more. Kabir arrived riding a chopper 2 years ago and saw Colonel and Khalid waiting for him. They talk about the mission and who would be in his unit. Colonel asks Kabir to include Khalid on his squad. However, Kabir resists, exhibiting his bullet scar and recalling his encounter with Khalid's traitor father, Major Abdul Rahmani. Still, the colonel is adamant about recruiting Khalid, claiming that Khalid enlisted and wants Kabir to train him and prove that he is not his father. The colonel then informs Khalid that he has been accepted but warns him that one misstep will result in his banishment. With Khalid on board, they continue to plot their mission. They discuss India's #1 adversary, Rizwan Ilyasi, whom Kabir had spent 5 years tracking down, and their purported link to him, Bashir Hasib, an Iraqi militant rebel commander. The group travels to Iraq to catch Bashir and enters an ISIS-controlled area. Kabir is apprehended when he shoots one of Bashir's men in a desert where they are about to stone a criminal woman. Bashir assumes he is an Indian spy after seeing his photographs on his phone. However, Kabir assures him that his goal is not to kill him but to visit his boss, Ilyasi. Bashir then arrests him, thinking no one can help him because they broke the transmitter on his shoes. However, they are unaware that he has another transmitter in his teeth. Soon after, Kabir's troops arrive and begin firing. Khalid gets into a fistfight with one of Bashir's men, then another man charges him with a gun, but Kabir saves him by throwing a knife at the shooter. They then confront and knock out Bashir. Khalid's mother later visits him at a bonfire to celebrate their successful mission. She also gives him some spiritual artifacts for the shrine. Kabir then phones him and invites him to his office, which draws his mother's attention. After that, Kabir informs him of his missed targets and points out that Khalid is hiding something from him, precisely his blind spot and his right peripheral vision. Since Kabir regards his squad as his family, he disqualifies Khalid for fear that his deficiency may cost him their lives. Khalid recounts how he got his impairment related to his father. He was bullied as a child and had his right eye partially damaged, crushing his spirit since he was the son of a traitor. Khalid begs Kabir for another chance, explaining that while his eyesight may be poor, he still has a good aim. Kabir then tells him that he is waiting for him to make a mistake so that he can disclose his true colors to the colonel. But in the end, he proves him wrong by revealing that the blood in his veins is not his father's but his mother's. After a while, the colonel returns to explain their effort to catch Bashir's flushed Ilyasi. He asks Kabir and his colleagues to fly to Marrakesh since Ilyasi is there. Before they head for the mission, Kabir requests complete radio silence and asks not to inform anyone because he worries someone is tipping off Ilyasi, who always escapes. In the meantime, the team arrives in Marrakesh. They prepare to follow its strategy as soon as Ilyasi arrives at the restaurant. One of Kabir's men, Sorab, turns out to be a traitor and shoots his fellow troops. Kabir orders Khalid to let go of Sorab because their priority is capturing Ilyasi. Despite his order, Khalid still chases Sorab, leaving him alone, which causes him to get shot, and Ilyasi escapes again. After a week, Kabir wakes up in a hospital, where the colonel informs him that they lost Ilyasi. Aditi tells Kabir that Khalid followed Sorab for 20 minutes before losing the signal. Moreover, the colonel says that after searching the area, they found no evidence of Khalid and Sorab, fearing that the sea had devoured them. Kabir disagrees, thinking Khalid could still be alive. On the other side, they locate Khalid's unconscious body in Marrakesh. When Kabir pays Khalid a visit to the hospital, he reveals that he has killed Sorab. Present day, Khalid receives a phone call while studying their mission to find Kabir. Surprisingly, the caller is Kabir, who admits to shooting Naidu and warns him not to hesitate to shoot him if he ever gets the chance. Before hanging up, Khalid asks about his tactics, to which he responds that they should prepare their flag because they will use it to wrap the body of his next target. The next day, Shroff travels with his guys on an aircraft when Kabir pursues them and gets inside. He quickly eliminates all the soldiers, then blows up the plane and kills Shroff. Later, they talk about Naidu and Shroff's connections at the base, but they only have one thing in common: Kabir shot them. Kabir unexpectedly shows up behind Khalid, who is on the train on his way home. Kabir asks him to stop chasing him and get out of his way. However, Khalid is devoted to his country and will not abandon it for the sake of his own life. Because of Khalid's devotion, he gives him two options: either to know his motive or his next target. Khalid chooses to know his next target and then loses sight of Kabir. Fearing he has exited the train, he hurries out to find him, only to see him back inside. He shows him a piece of paper with the name of his next target, Dr. Abdul Biswas. 6 months ago, Kabir was in Italy dating a girl named Nina. However, he was there on a mission, and his objective was Feroze contractor. Feroze is Nina's second suitor and the man who launders Ilyasi's money. After the tragedy in Marrakesh, Ilyasi goes underground, and Feroze is their first lead 3 months later. Kabir's team successfully hacks all cameras and microphones at the villa where Feroze will be staying. During his chat with the colonel, Kabir learns that Feroze's accountant is waiting for him urgently. Listening to Feroze and his accountant's conversation, Kabir confirms his connection to Ilyasi and finds out they are plotting a significant explosion in India, like the crime of Osama bin Laden. The next day, Kabir visits Nina and tells her everything she needs to know, including the fact that she is a civilian asset. He also needs her as a backup since Feroze is madly in love with her. Kabir then offers Nina a deal that will allow her to complete her 3-year plan in 1 day. He tries to convince Nina that he only has a day before Feroze departs. He warns her that Ilyasi will destroy India if they cannot stop him. Nina arrives later, having considered the deal, and informs Kabir that she will take it. Following their heartfelt talk, Nina hands him Rahu's drawing of her and Rahu surfing in Australia, Rahu's ideal trip. This reminds him of his promise to keep her safe and that she has a daughter waiting for her. After that, Nina goes back to work and meets Feroze. The colonel contacts Kabir while on duty and informs him that he will return the next day if there is still no progress. He then tells the colonel of the honey trap that Nina will connect their device to Feroze's laptop. Then, Aditi contacts Kabir with urgent news about Feroze with a strange older woman, a leading plastic surgeon whom millionaires can only afford. While Kabir views the footage of Feroze with the plastic surgeon, Nina continues with their plan and links their drive. Aditi also hacked the surgeon's hospital records. She then shows him a video of Feroze undergoing plastic surgery, revealing that he is Rizman Ilyasi. At the same time, Feroze detects the device on the laptop, resulting in Nina getting caught. After that, Kabir rushes to Feroze's villa, seeking to save Nina. Unfortunately, he was too late, as Nina was already dead. Kabir confronts Aditi that the colonel is the only one who knows Nina is with Feroze. So he requests Aditi to investigate the colonel's past and whom he spoke to after their call. Their investigation determined that Naidu talked to the colonel 2 minutes after their call. After the discovery, Kabir starts killing anyone connected to Ilyasi, who is Naidu and Shroff. After he eliminates the accomplices, he is eventually led to Dr. Biswas, who has the drive. In the present day, Khalid goes to Dr. Biswas at the Portugal Space Center to put him to safety because Kabir is on his way to kill him. Ilyasi secretly phones Dr. Biswas to ask for the code. Dr. Biswas informs him that they will transport him to New Delhi under strict security. However, they are ambushed on their way, leaving Khalid unconscious inside his car, which crashed on the road. After that, a chopper is ready to remove Dr. Biswas when Kabir arrives to shoot them. Khalid regains consciousness and retaliates. However, Kabir uses Dr. Biswas' body as a shield, causing Kabir to flee on his motorcycle. Khalid then pursues him but is unsuccessful when Kabir leaps off a bridge after a long chase. Following the events in Portugal, Khalid returns to the base and informs the colonel that Kabir obtained the codes, which they have no idea about. Moreover, he tells them that he was instructed to save Dr. Biswas but was not informed about the drive. Colonel, in great anger, expels Khalid due to the deaths of Dr. Biswas and the 8 Portuguese soldiers. Later, Khalid calls Saini, now in charge of the mission, and informs him that while he was recovering from Marrakesh, Kabir went on assignment in Italy before killing Naidu. Khalid then asks about Kabir's last mission, which Saini answers is about Feroze contractor. Saini then sends the case materials, and Khalid starts to investigate. He later finds out what happened in Marrakesh and comes across Nina. During Christmas, Ruhi and Kabir are having fun at a carnival when Khalid unexpectedly appears. They then head to Kabir's residence, where Khalid witnessed the plot for the killings, showing that Feroze contractor is Rizwan Ilyasi. In the middle of their conversation, an army comes and ambushes them. After killing the soldiers and leaving Khalid's house, they go to Aditi's wedding, which surprises her with their unexpected reunion. She hands Kabir the decoded disc and informs him that she discovered satellite Brahma's orbit vectors, India's defense satellite. They believe Ilyasi will use it to disrupt the satellites, the army's only means of communication, and then attack them. Kabir hands Khalid the disc and orders him to keep it secure. On their way to the jetty, Kabir finds a glass of wine and decides to drink with Khalid. However, Khalid spills the poisoned wine, which exposes his real identity, Sorab. He then reveals that the real Khalid died when he chased him in Marrakesh and that they underwent plastic surgery using Khalid's face to spy on them. Moreover, he poisons him with the most potent neurotoxic poison, which causes Kabir to collapse. Sorab then throws his body into the lake. After that, Sorab, who has the disc, joins Ilyasi at the Arctic Circle as they prepare to fire the missile. However, to their utter shock, Kabir is still alive. Kabir now narrates how he discovered it as Sorab and not Khalid. He explains that he already suspected him when they were at his house because Khalid doesn't have a clear vision. His speculation is later confirmed when he asks Aditi to investigate further and discovers that he went to work despite being suspended. Aditi also found a missing TTX in their vault, so Kabir asked him to create an antidote and place a tracker on the device for them to track Ilyasi's location. Meanwhile, Ilyasi and Sorab believe that Kabir has lost the fight since the missile launch. However, they were wrong again. Kabir holds Ilyasi at gunpoint, but surprisingly, Sorab shoots Ilyasi. He immediately flees in a car, thinking that Kabir is dead. Fortunately, Kabir manages to escape the explosion and chases him. They accidentally crash, forcing them into a fistfight where Kabir ruthlessly kills Sorab. Later, Kabir meets with the colonel, who commends him for his bravery. However, he claims Khalid took a bullet for him, allowing him to kill Ilyasi, which shows extraordinary patriotism, making him the real hero of the fight. He then requests that the credits for the mission be given to Khalid. After that, the government honors Khalid and his sacrifice for the country, and his mother receives the award. The movie ends with Kabir on home duty with Ruhi, where he receives a sudden phone call from Colonel for their next mission, Farid Haqqani. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.